Okay, hi everybody. Today we're going to go a little bit into the butterfly because there's a couple of questions that I left off I didn't really answer properly. So one guy asked about, can you hold the chain with your whole hand, and I originally said no, and then I said yes, and that's because it was difficult to explain on YouTube comments, but now that I've got a camera I can explain better. As you can see, that is possible. However, it's only possible because I've got enough room on my hand. So with this chain, which is much smaller, things attached, I would very much struggle to even get any kind of similar shape, and that's the exact same movement. So the less fingers that you've got in control, the better, and that's because it centralises, it's all moving around the centre point. Okay, so when I've got my whole hand there, the centre point is this big, and it, as you can see, it doesn't have much room to twist. But if I can hold it with just the one finger, the centre point is much smaller, which gives the nunchuck much more freedom of movement, and it looks just a damn sight better, really. So yes, it is possible, but it's not really advised. Okay, so I did mention in the original tutorial about poi, and these are poi for those of you who have never seen them before. Obviously there's some better looking ones. These are your actual shop bought poi. Okay, so it's essentially a ball on a piece of string that tangles really easily. So what we do when we're practicing is we put something like, these are bean bags, these are just your average juggling ball bean bags, and we've got two of these in a pair of long socks. Okay, and it's exactly the same thing. It's just a bolus, it's like an ancient weapon, isn't it? And we can use these in nunchaku for learning some of the moves. Some of your arm strength and your muscle memory and things like that will all be the same. So the reason that I mentioned it on the butterfly tutorial was because this is a poi butterfly, which is exactly where the move comes from. And as I said, once you've got it going, you can hold it with just one hand, and you can also, in the same way as I showed you on the tutorial, you can get it going with one hand and keep it going. Now in this instance it's actually a really good idea to have your whole hand there, because essentially this is just the string. There's plenty of freedom of movement already. You don't have to create more. So it's a good idea to have one in one end of your hand and one in the other end of your hand, and just get them going the same as the nunchaku. And then once they're going, it's exactly the same feeling. So it might be a good idea for you if you're struggling to get started with the nunchuck butterfly. Maybe start with the poi and understand that feeling. Look up some poi tutorials, because there's some fantastic poi tutorials out there. You can also get offbeat, which one person actually sent me a video of themselves doing the offbeat butterfly with nunchaku, which I think is incredible. So well done you, whoever you are. Sorry, I haven't written down anybody's names. So yeah, that's that move. Exactly the same thing, and a lot of fun. And it also helps with your double nunchaku. When you've got two on the go, you can do the weaves exactly the same. So that's the 3-beat weave or the 2-beat weave, depending who you ask, and this is the 5-beat or the 3-beat, again depending who you ask. And it's exactly the same. If you've got two sets of nunchucks, I know these are different weights, so this isn't really going to work, but you get the idea. So it might be a good idea, if you don't have foam, to practice with a pair of socks with tennis balls in it, or something that's not going to hurt a lot when it hits you, and just practice that way. That might really assist you. Okay, so onwards. It is possible to catch the nunchaku on your foot, which I just missed. I'll try that again just to prove that it's possible. Okay, because it opens out and it twists around in the air, as you could see, hopefully, because these are foam and they float nicely. It opens out and then it just twists around gently, so you can get your foot in the way And then once you've got it on your foot, you can twist it into a wrist wrap of some kind. Maybe easier if I had more space, I apologise. Now I'll just show you some tricks with the weight. It's much more difficult to get a throw with the foam nunchucks, but it is possible to throw and catch the butterfly, like so. Okay, so that's something to work on if you're a little more advanced. Also, as I showed you, a good way in and out is the over, under. So if I get it into it and then I slow it down, I can bring it back into that. And I might want to use that roll to get out. You can just simply do a finger roll into a wrist roll. Okay, so basically as it's spinning, take control of the horizontal spin, and you'll notice that the way I usually do it is 2 fingers on each side. So as it spins out, it goes round the back of these 2 fingers, and I can catch it there. Okay. I usually add an extra, so I usually spin it. Hang on, that didn't work. I'm doing it too slow now. Okay, so I usually spin it to there, and then round into the full. I hope that was caught on camera. So that's a couple of transitions from the butterfly. I'm still working on transitions into it. It is possible, obviously. Generally by a throw. Ooh, like so maybe, I don't know. So yeah, have a play, enjoy yourselves. I'm really sorry that this particular video is a lot later than I promised it would be. Stay classy, everybody.